What's up, guys? Welcome to Third Floor Music Tour. I'm Chris.
I'm Steven.
What's up? I'm Diego.
All right, so today we're doing another album, and the band is Portugal The Man, and the album is
Evil Friends.
Evil Friends.
That's right.
Yeah, I brought this one in because this is an album I like that I listen to pretty frequently. I don't know y'all's thoughts on this, but it's a good one.
How often do you listen to it?
I just have it in my normal like Spotify downloaded songs, so it comes up when it comes up.
Do you remember the first time you listened to it?
The first time I listened to it, let me think. It was back in high school. No, I don't remember specifically.
No, that's cool. I was just curious.
It was a couple of years ago.
How did you find about Portugal the Man?
I heard someone talk about it. Like they had one big song that got on the radio, "Feel It Still."
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing about them, and there was a famous, or not famous, it's just like a music video blew up, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
But that song definitely blew up because it's a good song. But
it's a good song.
It's a good song on an album that's not as good. This album is my favorite of their stuff.
Is this their newest one? It's not.
It's not their
It
newest
is
one.
not. It was released
2013.
2013.
Yeah, so it's kind of old.
It's an older one, but if it's it's your favorite of theirs, so that's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
What makes it your favorite?
I just like the music on it better. It has a different style to it than the rest of their music does, and I don't really flow well with the rest of their stuff.
That's fair.
It's just this one hit the right notes for
This
me.
one's more pop oriented than the rest of their stuff. It's more pop and like hit oriented. It seems like
I've only listened to this. I've heard this name for a long time because I feel like they're super prominent on the festival scene.
Yeah,
Like I see their name on festival flyers a lot and stuff like that, lineups.
Me too.
But I've never listened to their music until now. So, which is kind of like why I started doing this, right? But as far as the podcast goes. So since I haven't listened to their newer stuff, like when was their newest album?
I think it was 2017.
Oh, okay. So it's
their
still kind
most
of like a
recent
while
one,
ago too. Did you listen to that one?
I have in the past, not
and
recently.
What differentiates it or from this album?
I don't know. It's a lot. I believe it's a lot slower.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah. This one was pretty high energy.
Yeah, this one's fast paced and it's fun to sing along with.
I had a hard time understanding the lyrics.
Yeah, I felt
I was like, man, I wanted to jam it harder, but it seemed almost like the lyrics were hidden behind the vocal effect,
like the production of it.
Yeah, the production.
There was a lot of effect.
A lot of
vocals.
effect on the vocals, right?
Yeah.
Did you understand the lyrics?
I mean, I know the words
yeah.
to all of it.
I certain ones would pop out at me.
Yeah.
Like certain lines, like "Don't pray for me," or just certain things. I don't know why they would pop out. But overall, I thought the lyrics were less prominent than in a lot of other.
More sound. I felt
it was
like
a sound,
more sound and
sound
production oriented.
Yeah,
It sounded good.
There was a lot of production on it. I looked the Danger Mouse. That's the producer that did it for Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested in like his flow. Like I don't really know this band, so if anybody knows anything about how music is made, the producer is a big deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because whenever you're listening to a band, you're not only listening to the band, you're listening to the producer. So if the producer is not like a direct part of the band, you're really hearing their sound too, which really blew my mind when I was younger and learning about how the music business worked, because I was like, whoa. Because like I just played in bands and I wrote songs, and
the producer has a huge
say. And I was talking to this guy one time he was a teacher in a class I took about music business, and I was like, you telling me that someone else has direct control over what gets out and what happens? And he was like, yeah, but that's what you want. You want to work with a super prominent, talented producer. But it's really just the record labels hedging their bets, because they're like, they employ this producer to work with new artists to make sure that their investment is secure. You know what I mean? It's
because that makes sense.
Yeah, because they know that guy produces hits, and then he just takes, and I guess like if you're a good producer, you would take a band and make them a better band opposed to just making them sound like you. But, it's just, here nor there. But I was just wondering, like,
how much influence did he really have over the entire project?
Yeah, because like as a vocalist, now I know a lot of vocalists who don't like the way their voice sounds, so they do a lot of effect stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought it was pretty heavy, you know, as far as like the way his vocals.
I do that whenever I'm not feeling too good about a vocal. I'll throw a bunch of effects on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But that could be the producer doing it. Almost had like a Gorillaz vibe.
You know what? So like my initial reaction to this is it sounds like 2010. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like that time period. Obviously it was 2013, but like that
It's,
time
like, still the
period.
same time period.
Yeah. You know, like very Gorillaz. A lot of it was, which is crazy because that was 6 years ago. This album came out and it's dated.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? To my ears, I'm like, wow, that sounds like a certain time period that is in the past. People don't make this sound anymore. You know, it's not like what people are trying to do. Because like if you think about it, this kind of sound, I don't know who would be, to my mind, Billie Eilish is the closest thing to this sound right now, to what it evolved into.
Really?
Because
The sound of now?
right.
Or what do you mean?
Yeah, because like
It's today's equivalent of
sort of, because only she's a lot more hip hop oriented, but it's like,
Yeah.
but there is no real rock oriented
That was
pop.
there was just it was a super rock and roll album.
Right, yeah.
The
It
rock has
was.
a certain sound, and I think that a lot of it's kind of all of it's blending together nowadays. It's not. No one's really doing a lot of. Well, okay, I won't say that.
Right, yeah.
A lot of people. There's
Like
not a lot of
mainstream.
innovation going on
Well,
Yeah.
mainstream, I'd say.
with rock in general. Like and
Rock,
where
yeah.
there is a lot of innovation going on in hip hop and pop and stuff like that. That music's always constantly changing. Rock has kind of stayed the same, but this is just like, to me, it was just like a good group of like all just jam songs. It didn't feel like it had a story necessarily throughout. But Steven, you were talking about how they were referencing like certain other songs in other songs. Like at the end, he was talking about plastic or
like
Plastic
other ones of
Soldiers?
their
Yeah,
songs.
so
Yeah,
some
like
of
he'll
them
talk about
will
plastic
have-
soldiers.
Yeah,
Go
they'll
ahead.
have referential like just a one-off line in this song will end up being the chorus in the next song,
Yeah.
or something
Mm,
like.
wow.
I believe Evil Friends does that. And then, or is it?
There's a couple of them.
It's "Creep in a T-shirt"
Oh, yeah.
That's what it was,
has
yeah.
a line, which then becomes the chorus of "Evil Friends"
Oh, okay.
in the next song, and it's stuff like that. And like the last song in the album has a lot of references to the first song in the album, and so it kind of loops back.
It definitely looped back at the end, which is kind of cool.
Ties it up together.
It did have a very consistent feeling the whole time.
What was your favorite song on the album, Chris?
Oh, yeah, I wrote it down. Waves.
Waves.
Waves is a good one. I like Waves.
I
Yeah.
have to check out what I wrote.
What was
for
it?
Waves.
Number 8, Waves. Yeah. I remember listening to it and really thinking it was the heaviest song, the heaviest feeling song.
Yeah, that one definitely has a message to it.
Well, and for me, it
You
wasn't
liked the
even
guitar intro.
probably. I just felt.
I
felt
specifically
it was like.
wrote that down, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
yeah. I was like,
It's
Chris
funny.
likes
It's
this
gonna be
guitar
like
intro.
we're gonna have like a segment to see how many times Diego gets it right to know what I want to listen to. He just like knows what I sound like.
Are
so
we gonna
much.
have like a whiteboard and he's gonna
Yeah,
have
probably.
Yeah, there's gonna be
Just,
one
like,
tally,
hold it up.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll do
point.
that from now on, I guess. Oh, we could do. I don't know. I don't know if anybody. I don't know if I would know what you like, dude. Out of this whole song, this
you
album.
could guess easily.
Oh, me?
No. Yeah, I don't know you well enough. I don't know your musicality enough.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of stuff, and so there's no one
I like the
specific
first track.
genre. I would say.
Plastic Soldiers.
That one's good. I like that synth. It's insane.
The synth was cool.
I was like, that is cool.
Yeah.
But my favorite. What do you think, Chris? What do you think it was? You could probably guess it, or maybe not, because
Purple, yellow, red,
Yeah.
and blue.
you
Yeah.
nailed it.
It was like it had the heaviest groove, like
Dude,
that.
it had like the little drum machine kind of feel.
Right.
and,
It
like,
felt like the Gorillaz.
yeah, I liked it a lot. It did feel like the Gorillaz. Yeah.
That's funny. I was like, oh, it's definitely that one.
Yeah.
I
knew
didn't
you
even
could
think
guess
about
that.
it till now.
Which one was your favorite, Steven?
Mine,
And why?
I don't know if there's a. I want
Yeah,
to
see,
pick
it's
like
like-
2 or 3.
It's like this is less new for you. You've heard it a lot more than
Top
me.
Yeah.
3. And why? But top 3, one sentence, why?
So let's count down from number 3.
Number 3.
I would okay if I got to put him in order. I'm not
No
one
pressure.
to pick
No
favorites,
pressure.
but I would say which one is it? It's Modern Jesus would be probably my 3rd favorite.
Modern
And then-
Oh, yeah,
Jesus.
Yes. And then
Wait, why?
the intro and the drum synth. Is that
I
what you're thinking?
like the. It's fun to sing, man. Like,
Okay, that's fair. You just like holler
yeah.
into it.
I do.
Drive to work.
That's how I sing.
Yeah.
That's how I listen to music. Music's very active for me.
Yeah, of course.
I can't
It's
just sit there and have it on in the background. If I
It's
know
a-
the words, I'm going to sing it.
It's a hot medium.
Yes. And then second, I would say would be Atomic Man,
Yeah.
which that one.
You like the vocal melody, right? Because the vocal melody on that one is like really nice. Fun to sing to, seems, huh?
And then my favorite, I would say, is Holy Roller.
Holy Roller.
Yeah, because that one, it's just
And then in parentheses,
'Cause
Hallelujah.
that's a jammer right there.
Yeah.
That's
Your number one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one on there.
Do you find it that it connects with you, like as far as like the emotions that they're portraying, sort of?
What do you mean by that?
It's very like, to me, I don't think I could get into this album, depending on even maybe the whole band, the sound. I mean, I'd have to listen to their more modern work, but it feels very immature to me.
Does it?
Like the way.
Oh, well.
Steven, you didn't like that?
Sorry.
Yeah.
It just-
This just turned into a roast, everybody.
No.
Here we are.
That's what I was just. It was like very angsty teenage kind of thing.
Oh, no.
See, is
That's
Oh,
how
no.
angsty.
That's how. I mean, I'm not
You're
saying
not a
you
fan.
got some angst. I just. Yeah. No. I'm totally not. But
Hey,
it's
man,
cool.
I'm
You know,
just
it's all good.
living this life, and no one else is like me, and my parents don't understand.
It is a jam. Every single song, though,
Very
has
high
energy.
Very high
And
energy.
that's, what mood would you be in typical, like, I think that's a good, okay, so like what mood would you typically listen to this in, Steven? Where you're like, I gotta listen to this Portugal The Man album right now.
Yeah.
I feel like it. Just like driving or
Yeah, this is good music to
Chill?
drive with,
Or
this,
just like-
it's good music to clean my house
that's
to.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I could see
Like,
that. I mean,
that's-
I was literally listening to it again while I was doing some cleaning stuff. So.
The only thing with me is like I was cleaning the first time I was listening to it, and I kept catching myself like not listening to it.
Yeah.
It's very like I said.
tuned it out.
Yeah, well, it just didn't do enough to capture my attention.
Okay.
I can see that.
It was all like, in general,
It's background music for you.
for me, yeah, which is cool. You know, I mean, I'm not really trying to hate. I'm just trying to be honest about how I reacted to it.
I
You know what I mean?
understand. You're not
Doesn't
going
have
to
to
hurt
be
my
a favorite.
feelings.
Okay,
by
that's
not
cool.
liking it.
That's good.
Not too much, at least.
Men don't have feelings.
Nope.
All right, you guys want to hop into the first song, Plastic Soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
go
wanna
ahead.
through it.
All right, yep. You go ahead, Steven. You gotta lead this one.
Oh, I'm gonna lead this one.
Yeah.
Plastic Soldiers is this song. This one has like a cut halfway through it where it switches, which is real interesting to me. Like it starts
it switches,
out,
it turns like
it starts out real slow and then it gets into that like poppy feel to it, which is a fun. I don't know. It jumps around a bit.
I think the energy was mixed up on this one a bit.
Do you?
Yeah, because
Oh, the song in general.
sometimes you'll hear a song, right, and then like it'll have a build up, and the build up's like, okay, so for electronic music or whatever, it's just like doo, 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 and so high energy,
Yeah.
and it's
Right,
like building,
right,
building,
right.
building, building, and then you get to the drop, and this had drops in it, or what I would call drops. You would get to the drop, and then the drop wouldn't be as intense as the build up, so it wouldn't sustain that energy. It'd almost like go up super high and then come back down to like a happy medium kind of, but or like a medium level energy. But it did that a couple times. I liked all the drops. I thought it could have been I thought that it could have been simplified some more.
Really?
Take out some stuff, or like because it
Okay,
had like
so
choir
there-
vocals.
Yeah.
Throughout the album, I couldn't tell if this is like, okay, so this is his 7th album.
Mm-hmm. This is the,
So it's a band. It's
the
not just
whole
a guy,
band.
right?
Seventh
well,
album.
it's-
Yeah.
the whole band.
it's not.
it's not
really a
the
name
band.
named Portugal.
Yeah. Well, this is their 7th album. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, like, throughout it, I got indie vibes, right? Like, really
Yes.
indie vibes. But at the same time, they would have, like, these high level, like, they try to make it a huge production at some points.
Yeah.
With like adding in strings or adding in like choir and stuff.
They're saying like they were like
It was like
trying too hard. Or
I
like
couldn't
stepping
tell
out
if it
too
was
far?
I couldn't tell if it was an indie band trying to make like a big hit like production or a big hit band trying to make a little indie production.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you think?
But I did. Go ahead.
Do you think in general this band is hit oriented?
I think this album is. I
This
thought
album
every
is.
song was almost like the compression and everything, even the mix. It was super like slammed, which it's like crushed a little bit. So there's not a whole lot of dynamics, but like it sounds like stuff that was like it could be on the radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels
Or
like it was
to
almost
me,
made to be on the
like,
radio.
It sounded like songs that would be in a commercial. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it did, right?
You're listening to you're listening to a playlist on YouTube, and then all of a sudden they put a commercial in there, and this is the kind of sound that would be in the commercial.
Honestly, I felt the exact same way. Like I was like, if I did hear it in the commercial, though, I'd be like, whose is this? You know,
Right?
I would
yeah.
like it.
Yeah, there's nothing,
But it does sound
wrong
like
about it,
it's-
but it has
it's-
that. And I often wonder if like
does.
the intention of. Do you think a band has that intention? Because I was thinking about that
The producer
recently.
has that intention.
Yeah, the producer does for sure. But because like, do you think the band would?
I think maybe some bands might if they're just looking to make some money.
Get
off
some
of
paid?
it. Yeah.
It feels like they
Get
just
some
did whatever
paid.
they wanted, kind of, and just made a bunch of groove songs. Like that's how it kind of feels. I feel like they went high energy the whole time. Like everything was cool. Like they weren't trying to tell a specific story. It seemed like a bunch of like jams, and I could definitely feel that in like a lot of songs. This is one of the songs on the album Plastic Soldiers where they did have like a lot of transitions and stuff.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because a lot of the other songs I found that like the same chord progressions and stuff would be used again and again, almost like a rap song or something. So it felt more jammy.
Yeah.
So it felt like jams mixed in with like fully produced hits.
Interesting. And it's also kind of crazy. Is I totally get thinking about it. I get what you mean when you say the energy was mixed up. Because it was high energy, but
the drops didn't do the build-ups justice sometimes.
Yeah, and it's almost like it was high energy, but there was no real wave to the energy. It was kind of just like at a point and stayed there.
It did.
It wasn't like really an emotional kind of energy.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way.
I wonder if that's crazy.
Sorry, we're just like destroying.
No, we're
it's
totally
fine.
not. We're
Like,
not destroying.
I
We're not
liked
saying
I liked the
anything.
album. I was like jamming it while I was
Yeah.
doing stuff too.
You guys aren't like shattering my worldview or my
No,
music
dude. I
taste
mean,
at all.
I'm sure
It's fine.
I listen to some weird music, and
That's what this
people aren't.
That's what this whole
Steven's
thing's
not
about.
gonna like it.
Yeah.
It felt chaotic, which was good. I felt like that was a good feeling.
Really, you thought it was
Oh,
chaotic?
it was super chaotic.
Oh, I
This
didn't
one.
think so at all.
Really?
I felt like each song was pretty like uniform.
No, I'm talking about just specifically Plastic Soldiers.
oh,
Just,
okay,
I
yeah.
kind of feel the same way on some of the other songs, but not all of them.
Oh,
Like,
okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, with Plastic Soldiers, it felt chaotic, but it was like a good chaotic, and I
Right.
think that was the goal. And that could be part of their build-up and then drops off. Like, all this could be intentional stuff.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think they did a good job.
Anybody who spends as much time on an album as someone who had the backing of Atlantic Records probably was very intentional of what happened.
Yeah. I
I
wouldn't
don't
doubt
think
that.
you would just put something out there.
And
you
this
think?
isn't their first album.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
They have
Their
experience. They know what they're
experience.
doing.
Yeah.
So,
this is probably the album they wanted to make.
yeah.
Do you think? Oh, that's crazy. You think it would ever be somebody put out an album that isn't the album they wanted to make? Totally right.
You're saying with the producer? being
Yeah,
involved,
exactly.
like,
Yeah.
That they
Actually,
are? I
yeah,
definitely
for sure.
think that there is.
Yeah.
Nuts. I wonder if this was not the album they wanted to make.
Well, you got
Word. Oh, yeah. You
So
guys want to
quote-
hear a quote or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Let's see what they had to
Let's
say
see
about
what they
this.
had to say about
Portugal.
this.
Now that we've said our piece,
let's consult
some guys in an
these
apartment
people.
that have obviously too much time on their hands.
Danger Mouse, of course. Beginning Evil Friends, Plastic Soldiers is a song sung by anyone who lost a loved one
Okay.
and had to go through 3 stages of truth: refutation, violent opposition, and acceptance. So that's
Yeah,
probably why those weird drops and
Yeah, it's
stuff.
like that weird,
that makes more sense to me now.
It does.
A lot more. The song expresses the loneliness and existentialism the narrator is experiencing in the whole album. So it's a good like setup for the rest of the album.
Yeah, and now saying
a
that, I
long song,
definitely
too.
see that
Yeah, I can see it more now too.
because it starts off
Can't
really
keep my head.
like really sad, and
Yeah.
then they can't keep my head up,
I'd hate to seem so shallow. I can't seem to find my way.
and then at the end it's just we drift along like plastic soldiers.
Oh,
Just growing older.
Yeah, you know what this song actually reminded me of? Even the melody line. And it's
What is it?
weird. Have you ever heard that song Toy Soldiers by Eminem?
By Amen.
Eminem.
Eminem.
Oh, Eminem. I was like, Amen.
I believe I have.
Step by step.
Right, yes, I have.
Yeah, it's a similar vibe.
Yeah.
And it's called Plastic Soldiers. And I was like, did they do that on purpose? Maybe it just like was one of those things that got through.
Maybe.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, they're probably making the same
There's no way they're
same
referencing
metaphor.
Eminem.
Why not?
Yeah, but it's same. Yeah, same.
It could be the same metaphor. They might not have stolen it directly from Marshall Mathers,
Yeah.
but
Oh, that's why they call him Eminem.
that's why they call him Eminem.
Eminem.
Marshall Mathers.
Eminem.
I forgot his last name.
Marshall Mathers, shout out. Come on the podcast.
That'd be a trip.
Okay.
Right.
Anything else for this song, guys? Y'all like it? Yay, nay?
I think that covers that one.
Well, let's not talk about if we like
think
it or
it's
not
probably-
like it.
Okay, we know how Chris feels about this one, but
Okay,
I
alright.
like this one. Okay, Creep in a T-shirt.
Creep in a t-shirt.
The intro synth is sick, and
Yeah.
that got me excited. I love the synths on this album. The whole album
There's
had
a lot of good
the
sound production.
The sound design is on point.
Sound design,
I don't
yeah.
think the mixes do it justice. They don't engulf you, but it's almost like it's a song.
yeah.
That's interesting.
If that makes sense. Sometimes
Totally.
you put on headphones or something, and you're just like, whoa, and then you're in the song, you know.
Right.
And then
It's like you
sometimes-
really are in the story.
Yeah.
But not even like the story of the song, but just like the feeling.
It's like, okay, go ahead, Steven.
what
Sorry.
what is this? Why are you so...
Oh no,
back?
y'all have a much more, I guess, mechanical view of this than I do. Y'all are more in the technical side of things.
I felt like I was listening to a recording of a radio playing these songs.
Whoa.
If that makes sense.
Nope.
It was like an element of, what's it, detachment?
Disconnect?
There's a disconnect
Okay.
of some sort.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's what I wrote in this one, but that's just, I think it's because of the compression and it's geared for radio. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's also grungy. It's like, or punk rock.
Yeah, yes. That's
punk rock.
it's very like Good Charlotte-y. You know
Is
what
it?
I mean?
I don't think so.
I don't think.
No. I mean like
Just the vibe.
the vibe, right? Not necessarily the song itself, but like,
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't think you guys remember when Good Charlotte was.
I remember Good Charlotte.
No. When they were like the stuff. You know what I'm saying?
When they were the thing.
They were the
I think
thing,
I was
dude.
in like third grade.
Yeah.
I was in like
Thing.
middle school.
Right. Yeah.
Steven's a lot younger than us.
I am
guys.
the
Yeah.
youngest. I'm the baby here.
He's 18 years old.
I'm not 18 years old. Yeah, my
sorry.
mom drove me here. No,
That's okay, dude.
20.
That's okay if your mom drives.
my mom didn't drive me here. I drove
24.
myself.
My
You
mom
just turned
drove me.
I
24.
just turned 24.
Happy birthday.
It's you're a little late.
I said happy birthday at midnight on your birthday.
You did. You were the first person.
I know.
Wow. Love.
Yeah.
That's some love.
Bros
Bro
for
love.
life, dude. Intro synth is awesome. Got me excited. Vocals and guitar are what I really like about this. The rock aspect set in.
Yeah.
It got rockier and rockier.
I
was very
definitely
rock.
see what
Rolled
y'all are
harder.
talking about with the grunge aspect on this song
Yeah.
specifically. I just like just the words in general. It's just I'm just a creep in a t-shirt and I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like
Yeah,
real
this is
like
like,
whiny
whatever, man.
kind of. Yeah.
I don't have to
like,
listen
Feel
to
good
you.
ink.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Windmill, windmill. That's
I know
how
that song.
got
You
vibe.
love that song.
It's a good song.
It's a
fun.
great song, yeah. Hit
It's
oriented.
not on this album.
Here's what
No, it's
happened,
not.
man. On this song, the synth got me so excited.
Yeah.
But then again, like as soon as it like it went into the intro with the synth, and I was like, this song's gonna be sick. This is gonna be my favorite song. And then it like dropped it out kind of, and then it went into like this whole different thing, which I'm like, they did
Yeah.
shift the energy quite a bit, but then it just went totally rock, and I was like, oh, I want that synth back.
Yeah. They
I'm
do
listening to
like
away
to hop
from,
around
like,
a bit.
Yeah.
Got away from
Maybe
like the
too much.
pop elements of it.
Yeah, but once I settled into the new song that
Mm-hmm.
was not the initial song at the intro, I was like, this is cool. It's just not what I expected.
Yeah.
But maybe the unexpected is good.
Maybe.
It's a ride. I think
I've done that in songs.
think I'm going to listen to this album at least 2 more times on my
Wow.
own. I like it, and actually I told Steven earlier, like the first time I listened to it, I was like, I don't know, like I don't know what I think. And then like the second time I was like, yeah, this is cool. I'm down with this. But it's just because I think going into it, like you, Chris, I've never really listened to Portugal The Man much other than that one song. And I didn't know what to expect. I had an idea, and then like, so the intro would be like, oh, what is this going to be? And then it's like, well, that's not even what Portugal The Man does. You know what I mean? So I think I like it more and more every time I listen to it, for sure.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
better than the last album.
Yeah, I want to go through and like do like a lyric analysis more.
That's fair. Yeah, it's really hard. It's one of those kind of. I mean, like I have a lot of friends who are really into like real extreme metal, grindcore, and stuff. And you got to literally read the lyrics.
Yeah,
you know,
'cause
you
you
can't
can't
like.
understand
Yeah,
them.
you can't understand anything they're saying. Well, that's not true. I know some people are pretty good at it who are like,
Okay.
they know what they're saying. But this is
Steven-
kind of, which is weird because you don't expect that from this album. You know, you don't expect to be like, oh, I don't know what he's saying.
I know, yeah,
You know?
that's how I felt too.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
you know what he was saying before you looked up the lyrics, or and how did you?
I
How
would
did you?
say for the majority of it, I just listened to it enough that I figured it out.
Well, you're great with lyrics. You're
Yeah, I am.
basically. I mean, yeah, you're like
A lyrical god.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's-
definitely focus on the lyrics, and I don't know. Sometimes there's all songs follow a pattern. Usually,
That's
for the
fair.
majority of songs,
Yeah,
it's like
totally. If it's a
intro,
good song,
you know,
It's
verse
probably got
1,
some kind of
chorus,
pattern.
verse 2, chorus, verse 3, and then there's like even within that, within like the
There are
different
elements
measures
that
of the
follow.
song,
Yeah,
you always
yeah.
want to complete chords, and there's
Steven
things that
nails
are
it. He knows the song before the
assumed
song knows
when
it's
writing
song.
music.
okay,
And like are usually, I mean, everybody kind of follows the same trends,
they can. Yes,
even with their
genres.
with their genres, and
Genres.
there's just things that everybody does. Like you come in like
That's what I'm saying.
two
Steven needs to be a
measures.
producer for me, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, Steven's really good with lyrical content.
And I mean, I don't know. You just like when a song starts, you can kind of tell when the words are about to kick in.
Yeah.
like you feel it, and it's not even like counting or anything, or like
It's a
it
feel.
just
Vibes.
makes sense to me, I guess.
It does, and you have a great memory. You remember a lot of things.
Okay, let's not compliment me. Are you just trying to make up for it for hating on the music I bring in?
I don't hate this music.
I think that's what it is.
No. Okay, Creep in a T-shirt talks about society's judgments, especially about how they treat the musicians. Just losers in a T-shirt and jeans. Instrumentation includes piano, synths, and heavy distortion on the vocals, which is a very common thing throughout this. All this is from genius.com, link in the description. I can't
You
talk
know,
today.
it's funny. I think that's really, how should I say it? So I guess
Tell it, girl.
if you are a struggling musician, you are just something that is lower than like a petroleum engineer, right? Society,
Yeah.
as far as society goes. But like
Yeah.
at this point in their career, they've had like 5 albums or something.
7. Or
So like,
no,
well,
8.
I mean, like when they
They're on
released
8
this
now.
one.
Huh.
When they
Well,
released
they've
this
done
one.
They had
7.
they had
This is like
done
their
6.
5th one or so.
Yeah, and so
This is the
like,
7th.
it's
No,
kind
it's
of
not.
funny that they would have.
Is it?
That they would totally throw that out there because that's
Yeah.
they're like in a different, unless he like had this feeling in the past, or maybe he feels like entertainers should have more respect, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this may not be talking about their current state,
Yeah.
but it could be like calling back to when they were just starting up and being like, this is how people kind of saw us when we started.
It's interesting.
It's weird though, because like it's, as far as I go personally, because I totally understand that sentiment. Like people are like I'll talk to people and they'll be like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I teach guitar lessons, or I'm a musician or something." And they're like, "Oh,
that's cool."
yeah, right." Like totally like done with conversation.
Yeah.
And I chalk it up to two different things. Like one, they don't take it seriously as like a career path that they can like discuss, or two, they might not have like a disagreeable nature towards it, but they don't have a basis of understanding to engage in dialogue with me, right?
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah. So I think for
pretty good.
nicer people, let's say, that they just don't know what to say. They're like, I don't know anything about that. You know, it's like, I mean, imagine being an engineer for Tesla, or not Tesla, for SpaceX. I don't know who's doing it, but whoever's working for Elon Musk and creating those brain interlinks that you like put into somebody's head.
You can't really
like,
explain to that.
Yeah,
to
how do you
someone.
explain to that
And
to
then
somebody who's
what's
just
the
like
conversation going to be?
Right,
After
yeah.
That point?
Yeah.
Where in order to progress in the conversation, you have to pull out a chalkboard.
Right,
And be
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Let me break
And
this down for the next 30
now,
minutes.
obviously-
It's like trying to explain. Go ahead.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
nailing
obviously,
it.
it's not that same level of difficulty when you're talking about being in the music industry. But one, nobody knows what that means. I mean, especially today because of the Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, like blow up stories. They're like, oh, yeah, you're just a dude who went viral, I guess. That's all that means, you know? But being in the music industry is like being in a real industry. It's a huge industry in the whole world, but especially in the country.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is the statistic says that the music industry is the #1 exporting industry in the United States of America.
Is that so?
But that's kind of like a rigged statement because it's like you can't.
So what does that mean exactly?
Well, it means we export the music industry exports the most of its product worldwide.
Yeah, I
but
know,
you
but
can't
what-
like
you can't quantify it, like-
well, no. You can't hire a bunch of Chinese manufacturers to make your product. You know what I mean? So like all the manufacturers
sense.
in the United States outsources their manufacturing. So it's like a rigged statement.
Yeah.
All to say. But it is a huge industry, but people just don't understand it. And it's definitely the ultimate industry where a few controls everything. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people trying to be in the industry, but it's controlled by a very select number of people.
I found it interesting that they were signed to Atlantic.
Not really, dude. I mean, think about how big they are. I mean, they're a big band, you know, and their sound, like I said, this is the only album I've listened all the way through and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember these songs. You know, I've heard them on the radio. I've heard, not all of them, but a lot of them. And I've heard them in other places. So it kind of makes sense to me. They're, like I said, it sounds very, I don't know, very produced.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's
Evil
what that
Friends.
Evil Friends
Yeah.
is about, right?
Let's go to the next one.
This one
Oh, no,
feels
no, my
like
bad.
Gorillaz the most, I would say, but
Yeah.
I love Gorillaz, so
Right.
I have no complaints there. I know they're a different band and stuff. I like the xylophone's vibrato.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty dope. Xylophone's a good, or whatever mallet instrument that is.
I think
choice.
it's, damn it.
Marimba.
No.
Great
forgot what it's
transition. Low to high guitar thing was sick AF. Punk rock feels.
Those are your cliff notes.
Yeah. Lots of sounds on this thing.
There's a lot of sounds.
There are a lot of sounds.
Yeah, doing a lot
I
of stuff.
felt like there's this one didn't have any piano, I don't think, or anything that I noticed about
Like
piano. But then I felt like that was good.
Yeah.
So I liked it a lot. This one was pretty good.
This song is it's more towards the bottom of my list, I would say.
Which is strange because it's the title
It
song
is
of
the
the
title
album.
song on the album, which
Which I don't understand where people are getting these.
yeah,
Because remember on the last one, we were like, "Whoa, beware the dogs. What?
Right.
yeah. On episode 1, we had the same feelings towards title tracks.
Would have been cool.
The title track of that album.
Plastic Soldiers could have been, Modern Jesus would have been a cool one for a title.
Yeah, I don't know. It that might not have been their choice. It might have been their choice.
Yeah. What'd you think of this one, Chris?
It's good. I have a very similar feeling with all the songs.
Yeah.
All of them.
All of them.
They are similar.
they
I mean, they're
all-
similar vibes.
Now, I mean, most people like doing that with an album, though. Like, you like the album to be like a continuous.
So
feeling.
people know what they're getting.
Right, exactly. It's not like a big
Like-
surprise, you know?
Yeah.
But So like I really don't have like I don't put in other than Waves as far as like what I really enjoyed like that was the only time I was listening to it that I was like, oh, what's this? You know what I mean? Like really perked my attention.
Yeah.
Or piqued my attention.
Second half is better than the first half to me, except for Plastic Soldiers is really good. I felt the opposite.
I would say the same thing.
You would say that as well? That's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Huh, that's a weird strategy. Oh, maybe they feel differently. Maybe they feel like
I don't know
the first half
what's
is
the
stronger.
halfway point of the album.
12 songs. So Atomic Man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
your
say
favorite, right, Steven? Atomic Man?
It was my second favorite.
Second favorite, my bad, dude. I'm so sorry.
Dude,
Yeah,
roll
how
that
dare
tape
you.
back, dude.
Don't you ever disrespect me like that again.
Never, especially not
Sir, yes, sir.
Unbelievable.
in front
Sir,
of all
thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
In front of a live
Yeah.
audience.
Anything else to say? Anything to add, Steven, onto that?
On Evil Friends, I don't know. I just I like the first half of it, but then when it gets a little more upbeat on this one,
Punk rock comes.
yeah.
Okay, Google, stop. The punk rock comes in big time,
Yeah. But
almost seemingly out of
don't know.
nowhere.
the just the vocals on that part don't
They
don't
go
fit
hard
me.
with that distortion and the effects on these vocals, man. I couldn't. I
Yeah.
wanted to sing to it because it feels like it should be able to.
Mhm.
You know, I wanted to sing, but I could not figure this out. And
Does the vocal effects get in your way when you're trying to sing with it?
Sometimes.
Oh,
On this
They have a
song,
really
on this song,
slappy
I feel like it does.
delay on a lot of this.
They did have a lot of like echoey
Where it's
sound.
like almost the delay is at like 50%. So like you're getting as much delay as you are getting original vocal, and it's like almost like a speech jammer of sorts.
Yeah, like the mix is just super wet.
I don't know who.
Yeah.
I don't know. The engineer.
But that'd be the producer, wouldn't it? Engineer just does what he's told. He's just a working man.
Yeah.
Kenny
He needs to
Takahashi.
learn his place.
Nah, engineer makes a lot of decisions.
Do they?
Oh
No.
yeah,
I
especially
don't know
mastering
anything
Not
engineer.
in my
The-
studio. No pun.
The behind the scenes of the music industry.
That's peasant work. Sorry.
Kenny Takahashi and Bob Ludwig. Bob Ludwig could have very well.
Oh, those
Kenny
are the
Takahashi
engineers?
mixed and recorded it. It looks like Bob Ludwig
Mastered.
mastered it. So he could be responsible for all this compression.
Yeah, I was about to
Who's
say.
responsible for the compression? The mastering engineer?
Dude, they're just put
Kenny, what did
limiters.
you give Bob to work with, Kenny?
They didn't even like. They just said no compression. Just limit the whole thing.
That's basically, it's very, I need
Set the compression to infinity.
there's not a lot of subtlety.
It's not a lot of what?
Subtlety.
Oh, subtlety. No, yeah, no. It's just a hard and fast hit.
Speaking of, yeah.
Speaking of which,
Speaking
I
of,
gotta go.
okay, so were we on Modern Jesus, or did we get lost?
Did we get a quote or anything from Evil Friends?
Evil Friends.
Yeah, let's see what they had to say about it.
Yeah. What did they say?
What did they say?
What do you have to
these
say
quotes
for
have not
yourselves?
been specifically from Portugal The Man, the band.
Yeah.
These are just
These are just
commentaries, if you will.
Oh, okay. Remember that, everybody.
Oh, this one looks like it is. Okay. What have the artist said? This
Oh, our
is
feet
from the
touch,
artist on
Steven.
this one.
well, just
we
disregard
initially-
what we said.
Yeah, we're in disregard. We initially wrote it, and it just wasn't right. We got into a lull in the studio where we were working on a bunch of other things. It's weird. We just craft some songs on any given day. This isn't making sense. It was missing a hook, lead line, or something.
Dude, this guy was. No, I think this guy was like on
I
something.
can't read aloud today. I think I might be on something.
Oh.
We had gotten to a different studio in LA. We had been at Brian's studio pretty much the whole time for a couple months. Then we went into a really old school, super 60s style studio. It was really amazing. Tons of stuff. Oh, it's angsty, upbeat, and punk rock. It was pretty fun. See, I think that's kind of the story of this album is they
Yeah.
had fun.
Yeah.
They had fun.
They were like, "What's
and
gonna be
had,
awesome?"
Like kind of like an unintelligible quote.
Yeah, I kind of read that terribly, but
No, but it's cool.
I got to the
I mean, like the gist of it is like they didn't know what to do with the song. They went to a different studio, had a
They said it
different
was-
vibe to it.
yeah, they said it
and
was Nirvana-esque.
I never got that feeling.
I didn't either at all. Not even for 1 second. They said the guitar riff. I'm not sure.
Dude, it's weird to like single out the guitar in this though. While it is an element, it's not prominent at all.
No.
It's totally for texture.
But what is prominent? That's what you got to ask yourself. Because like
The wall of sound.
It's a wall. That's what I'm saying. Is a wall of sound. That's why I'm like, I don't know what happened with the mixing. I do like I see where they were going with it. It's almost like, I mean, it makes me wonder if they did it on purpose. If it's supposed to be like a slap in the face, kind of, is like it's slapping you.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like made for radio.
It's like,
it's like it's like a pop mix, but made for radio, but like on crack, like super hard. And they like overdid it to the point where it's almost like that has to be intentional.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it's not a slap in the face where it's an insult. It's just
no.
It's
It
just
slaps you in the face.
Yeah. The sound is like reaching out of the speakers and just like, bah,
Yeah.
pay your rent.
All right.
Hip hop kids.
No, we're on Modern Jesus now.
Modern Jesus, my bad. The intro and drums, synths, everything awesome. So awesome. The intro with the drums and the synth.
I do like this song.
You like the vocals?
I like this one.
What's it kind of talking about?
The bass is good on this one.
I feel like this one is, I wouldn't say like anti-religion.
Yeah, I think this is the one I was thinking about.
Is
this one where it's like, don't pray for me?
It's don't pray for us. We don't need no modern Jesus.
Yeah.
I feel like it's talking about kind of the like, I would say like the modernization of religion, but also like the kind of like, what would I say? Like the corporatizing?
Yeah, corporatization.
It's
or not even like the corporatization, because there's nothing wrong with a corporation. It's just a big entity.
Yeah.
It's just, but what I guess the commercialization.
Yeah, commercialization's a better word for it.
Yeah, of religion.
But yeah, how it's kind of, they're almost trying to sell you stuff now.
It says that essentially they were trying to deliver the message that it's better to have faith in yourself than in God. Is what it says. He said in an interview with NPR.
So if we're going to go down this road.
Okay.
No, that's just what he said.
No. Yeah. No, but that, I totally, like one of the notes I wrote was that it's super humanist. Are you guys aware of humanism?
I can understand that.
So where like, and I'm sure the humanists listening would disagree with me, which is cool. Let me know in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Humanism is where essentially you replace God with yourself. You become God. But nobody would ever say that. Like if you're a humanist, they would be like, oh, we don't believe in God at all. You're supposed to have faith in yourself, not God. It's like, well, exactly. But I mean, that's like a whole rabbit trail kind of thought process we don't have to get into right now. But
yeah,
but I felt that vibe through the whole album. So I don't know what these guys, and to me, humanism is a religion equal to any other world religion. And I actually think it's the second most prominent world religion.
I guess.
This song, like many Portugal The Man tunes, features the theme of atheism, or not having strict beliefs in a certain line of faith. In this point of the album, the narrator starts to embrace his evilness as he concludes that he can't live a righteous life.
I see, and this is
an interesting message.
It's interesting,
and it's
too,
relatable.
But
I
even
think.
like these kind of things get so convoluted with me, because to me it's like, what do you mean? You have to define your terms, because what he means by righteous is not necessarily what I'm assuming he means by righteous. You know, all three of us here might have a different definition of the word righteous. So it's tricky to get into like, so he's saying he's an evil person that can't live a righteous life. And I don't know if the singer or the band is saying that, or if they're just talking about some type of personality.
Some stuff that Gorley this lead singer was talking about.
About himself?
No, this is just these are his personal words or not his words exactly. The ones from NPR were his words. That was just a second idea, but I don't know if he was talking about himself specifically. I assume it was. Or maybe it's this character. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a character
I'm not
in
sure.
a way.
Is it a character that's going through this album, or are they kind of talking? Is he talking about?
It's a story. You know, it's a story.
It is a story.
I actually, you know what? It's kind of coming together. I'm liking it more and more as I'm kind of reading these. I always like it more as we read the quotes. It like ties it together more.
I mean, anything that's this big has to be kind of good, and it has to be a little better than just butts and tits and money. You know what I'm saying?
That's not in this episode.
Not in this episode, guys.
Maybe next episode.
Maybe.
Yeah. But I don't know. It definitely kind of has that like
I like it.
I wouldn't say
Cool.
anti-religion, but like
He's given up
More.
on faith, essentially, right?
Well,
Yeah.
no, he's given up on faith in anything other than himself.
yeah.
Yes. I would say I wish the song was simpler, and I felt that on a couple of these.
You mean production value or
Production wise,
Yeah.
I really liked in a couple of songs. This was one before this, but the acoustic guitar was just like dry in the beginning, and then they took it out and like replaced it with like some really crazy effects and like all this different stuff, and I was like, man, what happened? We had a great thing going.
Oh, you like
and that
the
kept
dry
happening
acoustic.
to me. Yeah, it kept happening to me where I would like love one part of the song, and then I'd be like, oh, they took it away. Like, I guess too much of a good thing
that's
can be
pretty
a bad
interesting.
thing, but it was almost like that in every song. Like,
You know probably what
the
that
intros
was?
are so solid on all these songs. The intros are like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
You know what probably happened?
What?
The band probably wrote all the intros, and then they like crafted the song around it in the studio. You know what I'm saying?
That might be what. Yeah.
Maybe.
I can
Someone
totally
came up with a cool intro, and they're like, let's
let's-
write a song around that.
right, and then so like that's why it's hard to write music with people.
Yeah.
Because like there's a
see that.
super strong songwriter.
There's a lot of ideas coming in this one.
Right,
With
yeah.
all the choirs and the string sections, that was like threw me off big time.
Yeah.
But you know what I wonder if so you're saying it's hard to hear the lyrics because there's so much going on,
There's
and
a
then
lot going on.
the lyrics are like downplayed.
The lyrics are not simple at all because all the effects on them.
Right, but
it's
then
like so much.
But then we have, like, we're reading through it and it's making a lot more sense. So I wonder if his strategy or their strategy was to, like, have, like, a hard-hitting kind of upbeat, slap-in-the-face jam. And
With
then,
actual, like, a deeper meaning.
right,
behind
and
it.
so you're just, like, listening to it and it's getting into, the, like, subliminally. You know what I mean?
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Like you're
I
just-
felt like, yeah.
That would make sense. Because, like, to me, I was really confused at why structure an album this way. That's what I'm interested in.
I think
you
it's
know?
just like it's like, I don't think it is their 7th. I found that online somewhere, and I think it's like their 5th or something.
They've had 7 albums.
Total. Yeah. Okay.
And
There we
this,
go.
I believe, is around their 5th.
Like 5th or something. Yeah. It did slap you in the face. I like it more and more as I listen to it and as I read this. Like, and I'm going to listen to this one more so than I will a Stella Donnelly album.
Mm-hmm.
For
that
sure.
one's just too heavy and slow.
Yeah.
But
I'm
we
interested
got
in
a
checking
whole
out some
other
more
show
of his
for that,
work.
so.
We took a lot of time talking about that one. So
That one was fun.
That was
a
good.
fun
man.
album. I love that.
It was
Great.
good fun.
are we good on this one?
Hip Hop
think so.
Kids.
Hip Hop Kids. This one definitely is that punk feel to it. It's very apparent. And this one,
It felt like they recorded this all in one room together as a band, almost like a live recording session.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's how it sounded to me. And I was like, that's kind of admirable. I felt like this is cool. It sounds like a one take type of thing, and they pretty much nailed it. I thought that Louder is not better on this one. I felt like they slammed it again, and I was just like, man, I wish this was like more dynamic and stuff.
yeah.
Is that a common theme in their albums that you've noticed?
I wouldn't say so. That it's just louder is better isn't. That's not usually. Or, I haven't listened
Not
to
with
their
this
other albums in a while.
Yeah. Okay, that's
but
cool. I'll check it out.
I think that's specifically for this album.
I think less is more with these guys.
Yeah.
I think they'd benefit from that. The vocal mix and stuff kind of makes me think that they didn't want a huge focus on lyricism. But let's get into lyricism for this, Steven. Do you have anything with
For
the
this
lyrics?
one, it's. I mean, lyrics is just kind of like. I wouldn't say anti-establishment, but kind of that like. It's definitely that I don't care attitude.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not afraid to
we're
die.
just gonna make music and we're gonna do what we want.
Yeah. What do you think? Any thoughts on?
Not particularly. I think it is funny that the themes are running so close to the previous album that we did. I think I'm going to keep a tally
Oh yeah.
and see what
If this is just like,
what people do.
is this
It got
bias,
political
though?
later. Definitely got political.
I mean,
in
yeah.
one song.
There's later on.
later on.
Waves is political and.
It gets
And
political.
of
doesn't it?
course, everything has your own personal bias in it. But
course.
of course, but I mean, there's always going to. I mean, any person can see themes.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Hip Hop Kids talks about the music industry and how the scene. Sorry, these are typed.
weird.
It says and how. Like it's not typed correctly. The grammar's wrong.
Okay.
Hip Hop Kids
They need
talks
an editor,
about
dude.
the music industry and how the scene today compares to the past. The hip hop is dominating the mainstream, but those old school fans, as Gorley says, don't give a shit. Also, in the album's context, Hip Hop Kids shows the narrator completely embracing a life without religion and without the society's judgments. He assumes that he's an evil friend.
I didn't get the whole
I didn't get it.
anti-religion thing from this
I
one.
didn't either. I think he's trying to say, like, yo, music's not real anymore. Essentially,
Yeah, see, that's what I was
the punks are
talking
done. Fuck those rock and rollers. All you hip hop kids think we give a shit. Well, we don't.
Yeah.
Angst.
I feel like this
Yeah.
one's just about
Just-
music, though. Like, I don't think that quote is...
He says, I'm not afraid to die. Don't care if I get older. Maybe that's where they got the religious.
I feel like that's a bit of a stretch.
It is, for sure. I agree.
You never know.
Enjoyable to listen to.
And next one,
Atomic Man.
Atomic Man.
I really like the vocal melody on this one. That was dope. Well done. Does this... I was going to ask you, does this song sound like a lot of the rest of their songs on their other albums? More.
I haven't
You're
listened
not-
to their stuff recently enough.
They're like, Steven,
Okay.
why don't you know everything
Steven,
about them?
yeah, give us
Yeah.
some answers. What are the answers?
What is it, dude?
I
You're
haven't
the fan
listened
in
to
this
their
room.
other stuff recently enough
No, it's cool.
to make a judgment call on that.
Yeah. I really like the synths on this. They sounded dope. Super dope. I like all the synths on this. I think they did a great job with that. The breakdowns are awesome. Let's see. Like, they break it down and they simplify it during these breakdowns. And then they bring everything back in full force, like, and they break it down for like literally like 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and then they bring it all back in full force. And I'm like, man, that was but the breakdown, I miss it. You know what I mean? I'm like, this whole song could have been super simple. Atomic Man. I wish I could hear the lyrics more. I was like, man, I really like this, but it's just hard. It's hard for me. It was strange for the drums on this to have two volumes. Basically, the drums would be they had the drummer play the song. He played it the same way throughout, really hard, like hitting the drums hard. His velocity stayed consistent throughout. But during a lot of the parts, they would like turn the drums down half volume, but you could tell the drummer's still hitting the snare as hard as he can. It's just now at half volume, so it like doesn't make sense to the ear. Really, what it should have been is that he hit the drum softer. If they were gonna, it's like this consistent velocity throughout. If that makes sense?
Oh.
Like they literally just turned it down for parts, and I was like, you guys could have just recorded like softer drums there. You know what I mean? I think it would have come across more natural.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It
It's crazy that you can hear that so well.
I don't know. I just noticed that.
Yeah, there's a lot of like,
It's almost like they used a drum machine for it, and then they just turned the drum machine
And they
down
just
instead
have
of
the
actually
volume.
hitting the drums softer. and
well, I
using
mean, a lot
softer
of people are
drum
layered
samples.
drums. You know, they record the drum
Yeah.
set and then just layer it with a digital drum,
Yeah,
which is good
I
or
like
bad.
it. So yeah, it can be good, can be bad, can be stylistic. I think maybe it could have been stylistic on this. Like I said, dude, I think they slammed the shit out of this on purpose. To be honest, I think they did. Like, because there's no way, unless they just threw this together quick. But it sounds like they put a lot of thought into it. Especially like you can't get a mix like that unless you really want it. I think.
Yeah.
Sweet. Anything else for this one, Atomic Man?
I
That's it.
don't have anything else.
Okay, Sea of Air. Sounds-
Sea of Air, I don't really get.
That drop was so loud.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened? What is going on? I was like listening to it in headphones, reasonable volume, and then boom, it's just like all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, my ears. Did you get that as well?
It seems kind of out of place too.
It does. It's weird, right?
Like it's not necessary for that drop, and
It's folky, and then that drop, but then it's like artsy. Is how I felt. I felt like they were
the
going.
beginning.
It's
is
almost like the identity is not there. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have an identity for this.
they don't know what they want it to be.
I think it's just jams, man.
They were just jamming.
I think it's just jams. Let's throw it together.
Slam jam,
Make
thank
it,
you, ma'am.
Slam it. Something like that. Yeah. Sea of Air. Any other thoughts? You guys want to hear a quote?
Yeah, let's hear a quote.
Yeah, I mean it like mentions suicide and stuff, which
It's dark.
I feel like they were trying to
Really
go
dark.
for a darker vibe on this song.
It's so jammy though that it's like, is it dark? You know, it's juxtaposed.
Is this one jammy?
Juxtaposed.
I don't feel like this
No,
one's
this one wasn't.
much of
I'm
a
talking
jam.
about the whole album, or like in general.
This is the one that the crowd all raises their lighters for, I feel.
More of a ballad,
Yeah.
That's fair.
if you can
But
have
I'll
a
be
ballad on
brave.
this
Or
album.
they like, put their hands on each other's shoulders and sway back and forth.
Kumbaya.
Yeah.
There was nothing up there. No, nothing at all. Nothing but space, nothing but ground. He also affirms Sea of Air as many as, oh my gosh, Sea of Air, as many Portugal The Man songs talks about atheism, according to John Baldwin.
Oh, that's what it's.
Yeah.
actually,
He also affirms that we'll be brave in the. This is like so typed wrong. His life.
Are you?
Get what
you
website
okay?
is this?
Brave.
dude?
No, I'm having a seizure. Sorry.
No.
Final of his life is if God really exists for him, the universe is just a sea of air. Interesting. That's
Okay.
cool. Now I like the title a lot more.
I get what the title's talking about.
It's a
now.
turning point for the narrator. He stops questioning the existence of any higher being and decides he will live his life how he wants and not worry about how society views him.
Again, it's also, this is so like
I hear what you're saying.
16. Dude.
Yeah, I get that.
I get it.
And the fact
well.
that, I mean, I don't know this guy or this character or this band or anything.
You didn't
I'm
even
not,
read the
I'm not
lyrics.
trying to like, everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
But me in my life, it's like, why are you worrying about that? Why are you worrying about society? You gotta,
Yeah.
it's like, it's like I said, it's just, I mean, when you're 16 and you're in a high school full of 3,000 other people, all like really involved with like you and not you, and like, it's just like being a teenager is weird. You know what
yeah.
I mean? It's like a weird time, especially like in any kind of like public school setting, or even private, any kind of school
For
setting.
any public school, is they just get all these hormonal kids and they just throw them in a room and lock the doors.
Right, and then just like
let them figure their lives out.
Put drugs in them, all kinds of different, and then you get the other kind of drugs that they're not supposed to be putting in them. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like a wild ride. People start drinking, and then it's just
it's
like,
a Thunderdome.
It's a straight up, dude. Totally straight up Thunderdome, dude.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Welcome to the
bitch.
Thunderdome. Hi, Thunderdome. Hi, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we're gonna make some t-shirts.
Coming to CBS this fall, Thunderdome High.
Dude, we're making some shirts
Mel Gibson. Nailed it.
to the
All right.
cross, dude.
So I don't really have anything else to say about this one.
All right. Chris, anything?
Nah, it's cool.
Let's go to Waves.
Waves. I love the guitar intro. This is you two's favorite, basically, right?
I really like Waves.
I like the guitar part.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
This one's like really good. I enjoyed it.
I wouldn't call it a good song.
No?
Ouch.
I'd say the
I'm just
verses,
joking. I'm
I
just
like
joking.
it.
No, it was a
I was like,
good.
that's good. The verses are really similar. I think that it doesn't seem bad to me though. Like it seems like they have the same melody in the verses, right? And that's a good thing to me. I think it sounded like fun to sing too. It was a little more intelligible than some of the other songs.
get-
the
Yeah.
lyrics and
Like
stuff.
I said,
that's fun
it's
to
the
me.
only one on the album that like piqued my interest.
The effects are really nice. The piano's a little repetitive. It's like jung, 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 jung. Like they just keep doing the same thing with the piano in every song that has piano. It's like his similar play style.
You know, it's probably just like all that dude can do.
They have like tons of. I don't even know who played it. Let's see who played the piano. Lots of people. Lots of things. Vocals. Go ahead, Steven.
Yeah. Well, this song is very anti-war.
Oh yeah, definitely anti-war.
It's very, very apparent. It's definitely taking a stab at politicians and
The military-industrial complex.
yeah, and how they're just
Dang.
using
Real
war for
thing,
money.
dude. It's a real
Which
thing.
is-
Oh, it's definitely
is
a real
true.
thing.
It's a real thing, but
And there's a reason our military constantly gets more money.
oh,
Yeah,
Steven's
but
going.
this is now a political podcast, everybody. So
Steven is
strap
getting
in.
Political.
No. Yeah, but it's definitely like demonizing the military and politicians in charge.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. It's definitely more political. This is kind of the first political one in the album.
Like heavily political.
Heavily,
Wasn't
like,
there another one that was a little
political.
political?
No, we were thinking Stella Donnelly.
Maybe.
I wouldn't say political specifically. I wouldn't say any other ones in this or, but
Not just blatant.
Yeah, not like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to add?
No, that's cool.
Okay. Holy Roller, Steven, this was like your absolute favorite one, right? You said
I like
it's
to sing
just
this
a
one.
straight up jam.
This one's just fun to jam to.
What's that hook again? How does the hook go?
The
Hallelujah.
Oh yeah.
wait, you just like how the chorus goes?
Yeah.
The I'm like a holy roller.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
They say it a lot.
They do say it a lot.
They say Holy Roller a lot in this song, and I was like, oh, it's fun
Got
to
it.
sing.
Or it's I'm not your holy roller.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I have nothing to say on this one.
No?
I'm not going to say it's my favorite.
I mean
I don't know why though. Like
That's interesting.
I'm just like I'm not into it.
It's so crazy how
Okay.
so many songs are like that, or like even genres. You're just like, oh, this is cool, but then you listen to another song and you're like, this is supposed to be the same thing, but I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know?
for some reason I
There's-
wasn't a fan of this one. I don't know what it is. It was cool though. I mean, I'm sorry.
Stop
No,
trying
no,
to
it's
be.
fine.
Don't
I'm
try
not-
to be nice, dude. We're trying to be honest.
Yeah,
I gotta be honest. This is my least favorite on the entire album.
If we're
Which is
being
really
honest here,
weird
I don't
because-
like either of you anyways, so
Damn, Steven.
Yeah, we can't go down any lower in Steven's book.
no, you are on the back page
Yeah.
of my book.
Yeah.
Oh, like the back cover, like a full
No,
headshot.
Like we're what the
last
book's all
page
about.
below that.
Oh,
The summary.
man, I'm like thinking about you, and like I'm just like, what is Steven doing today? Man, I
what's
like that
Steven
guy.
doing?
And now I feel mean.
No, dude, if that's how you feel, I'll stop texting
I don't
you
feel
so
about
much.
that. I love you guys.
Oh. Someday Believers. Oh, what made you like this song so much, Steven? The
Okay.
fact
Holy
that you
Roller.
can sing to it.
Y'all have a much more like technical view of this stuff.
I don't think
and-
so.
No?
I think our view is technically oriented, but it's also from the listener standpoint. I mean, it's like because
Yeah, we kind of do break it down a little more. Steven's
Yeah,
kind of just like a
yeah.
jamming.
yeah, but like okay, so like
They-
technically, I guess maybe you would think about like the production value of it, right? That sticks out in your mind, and in my mind, a lot of the arrangement and compositions and like technical aspects, like skill wise, of the players are going to stick out. But I still am like thinking about it as a person who listens to music, not just like because I almost never listen unless I intentionally like I'm going to sit down and like learn what this person is doing as a musician. In general, I just listen to music. You know what I mean?
Once you study music, it's hard to listen to music the same way.
It is, but it's only because you have a broader vocabulary
Yeah.
You know, you
I
have
guess there's
of music, not necessarily.
I don't know the
Hyperanalysis.
words to describe it, I guess. Where it's just like I like it
Yeah,
Right.
and it's fun.
Right.
it is fun. I do agree.
I
But-
don't think it's fun.
That's fine.
I think it's fun. I want to listen to this album like 5 more times. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. It's
Maybe.
not my favorite album ever, but I feel like there's something there, if that makes sense, to be found.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
every time I listen to it,
A lot
I
of people
like it
like
way better.
this song, this album. So I mean, it's like, or this band. I'm not going to say that people don't like
First
it.
listen through, I did not enjoy it. Second listen through, I thoroughly enjoyed it as a jam.
Interesting.
Which is
There you
really
go.
weird, and I can't tell
Yeah.
you what changed. It's like whenever I say I don't like Holy Roller, I'm like, I don't really know. But something changed the second time I listened to it.
Interesting.
Yeah, like when we were listening to it earlier, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. I like it. It's chill.
Yeah.
It's not
So
chill.
what do we got? We got
Someday Believers.
I don't really have much to say on this one.
I'm not the biggest fan of the engineering on this. It feels like they're missing a mark that they're going for or something. They did like some stereo effects on it at first, and then like it closed right up again. And I was like, man, why don't you guys keep it
Expand
real?
on that,
Yeah,
yeah.
just keep it real.
What'd they say about it? Read a little quotey quote.
Is this for Someday Believers?
Yeah.
Let me see. I gotta pull it up.
This has to do this whole album. I will say, after going through it a little bit like this, a lot of belief. It's a lot. It's about belief.
That's kind of nice. I like that.
Yeah. Kind of like who you have faith in as far as the higher power, what people think of you, what people believe about the music industry.
It's like
a lot of belief oriented.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Ideas.
Belief in yourself, belief in the government, belief in a higher power. It's all sorts of stuff.
Opinions, other people's opinions.
Yeah.
What people believe about you.
It says much happier than the past songs on Evil Friends. Someday Believers represents the satisfaction the narrator has knowing he can live his life free of being judged. That's kind of a good message, I think.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. We're all just dreamers, someday believers. Will you ever learn? You're not the only one. Everybody's got something to hide. Yeah, I got mine. The vocal effects feel played out at this point in the album for me. I'm like, I just want to hear your voice, buddy.
Dang.
Show me your voice. Because I want to sing with you. I want to feel it. I do.
Dang.
Like, I'm trying. And then, like, I'm not like you, Steven. I'm not like, I can't
hear it.
The lyrics don't pop out to me like hard. I wish, I'd have to read along. I did not read along with the lyrics on this one. I looked at them.
Yeah, it's cool.
But,
all right.
Purple.
Well, that's cool. What's next?
Purple, yellow, red, and
purple,
blue.
Yellow, red, and blue.
So good. This song is awesome.
You liked it?
I loved it. It's my favorite song on the album, hands down.
What do you
Best
like about
song to me. I liked the drum synth.
Was this the?
I had no complaints on this one.
Was this the single? Do you remember the? I think this.
I
one
don't
was
know
the
if
single.
this was a single.
Like, I remember the song. I remember hearing the song a long time ago.
Oh, yeah?
When it came out, 6 years ago or whatever it was. I remember the song a lot. So I didn't know if it was like a single or something.
It seemed familiar.
Seems super familiar.
I think it might have been.
I don't know. Maybe it was like the hit on this particular album.
I felt like this should be the hit on this one, and I felt like it was the least hit oriented, which is interesting because
probably why it would.
I was like, that's probably why it is.
This one is definitely the most like well received song.
Yeah, it talks about drugs.
On your on the Spotify, it's one of their like top listened to songs on there.
Oh yeah,
I really like it, dude. It's just good. It's just really good. Easy to listen to, fun to listen to. I liked it the first time around.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to this song a bunch more. So
well, there you go.
Yeah. And then finally, Smile.
Smile. I like the reference to Plastic Soldiers. Full circle, baby.
I did think that's a good move. And I feel like it's because it's kind of like the title "Smile" as the last song in the album, kind of like it kind of gets a little, it's talking about some heavier. It's going through all the heavy topics like the
album,
belief
right?
And everything, and then it comes down to Smile, as in like he's just like content with everything. And
yeah, I mean, because it was like he's finally being himself.
Yeah.
All of that good stuff. Smile. It says Smile is a reflection on the album as a whole. It's about the narrator deciding to actively ignore all the questions and arguments he imposed throughout the album, and just to be happy and not question them despite these thoughts.
Okay.
He's kind of just like relax. Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. He's like they're all big problems, but what's the point?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just be happy.
I liked this one. The rock kind of felt good. The rock outro and stuff. That was a neat way to end it. It was really rocky. I didn't like the exact the perfect cutoff. None of the songs had like good. To me, like it left something to like
be desired.
Yes. The cutoff. They cut a lot of songs short or something. It didn't have like a perfect outro. It was just like cut. But that may be the point. Is what I'm saying. Like maybe I don't. This is why I need to listen to it like 3 more times, I think, and I'll be like, wow, this album is so awesome. But like as for right now, I'm just like, I'm still wondering what to think at the end of this album. I'm like, I like it. I think I'm gonna give it a solid.
Solid second try.
Yeah, solid third try.
Yeah.
What do you think, Steven?
What do I think? I mean, I enjoy the album.
Do you listen to Smile
Yeah.
like in the car?
I wouldn't say as often.
Which one do you
as
listen
some
to
of
the
other
most? Holy Roller?
Like Atomic Man, Holy Roller,
Waves.
Waves.
Purple? Do you listen to that one? Not your favorite,
Actually,
huh?
don't listen to that one.
That's interesting.
Which
It's your favorite, huh?
it's
That's my
interesting
favorite.
that you like that one.
I love it. I'm like, this is awesome. I don't know what to say. I mean,
And I mean, like everybody, that's their most well received song on here, and it was just the one that I was like, I don't really care.
yeah, it was weird because I felt same way about Holy Roller that you feel about. It's like a
Flip flop.
yes,
Interesting.
Little flippity flop.
little flippity flop.
But yeah. Okay, so final thoughts, I guess.
Chris, you go ahead
Made
and
it
go
to the
first.
end.
I want to hear Chris's
Someone
first.
rip the Band-Aid off. Let's hear it.
I'm not gonna listen to it again.
Yeah.
Never.
That's fair.
Nah.
Will you listen to any of his other works? Probably.
Yeah. Not with high expectations. So again, it's just my opinion. You know, it's not good or bad or anything like that. It's just how I feel about it.
What do you think of that band name?
Don't like it. Never have.
What?
Okay.
I love it. I think it's
Portugal,
awesome.
man.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's playful.
Yeah.
I think it's good. My biggest thing with band names is it should mean something to you and be as unique as possible. So I think it probably meets both those criteria. Mm-hmm. But personally, it's not like I've never, you know what? Nope. I've never read it on a list of bands performing somewhere and it never like jumped out at me.
Yeah.
But when I've heard people say it on the radio, I was always like, that's interesting. You know, that's an
I like
interesting
it.
choice.
There's a period after Portugal.
Yeah.
It's Portugal period space the man.
Which that's strange. It should be a colon, in my opinion, my grammatical opinion. But
Hey,
here we
You're
are.
just really into colons.
Oh yeah, as in the punctuation. You know.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, Google.
But I mean, I like this album.
I'm sorry, I lost track.
Shut up.
Can you rephrase that?
Our okay Google.
Okay, Google, stop.
Our
Stop.
NSA listening device is freaking out over there.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So as I was saying before, so rudely interrupted by the
Thanks.
machines.
He was
Google.
colons or something.
Yeah.
No, yeah, right.
I do like this album. Y'all have brought up some very relevant points.
and devastating. We've
Yes,
been very
some-
harsh on this one. I'm sorry.
Oh,
And
We're not being
trying to-
harsh, dude. We're just being honest.
I'll never listen to it the same again.
I hope not.
I mean, I won't, but I still
Good.
will listen to it again because I still
a problem.
do.
That was a joke.
How dare you?
No. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I
Sorry,
still will listen to it because I
I'm definitely going to
still
jam
enjoy
it.
it.
I'm going to listen to it in the car like 5 times probably.
Nice.
I'm glad that, Steven, you picked this because I'm going to listen to it more.
Yeah,
So
me
here
too.
we
I'm happy
go.
you picked it too because it's like I've heard this name for years and I've never.
Yeah, we
listened
never
to it.
explored it. So it's like we need to be in the know as far as this.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? It kind of reminds me of, it's like the same thing, not the same thing. Father John Misty and Portugal the Man, kind of
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
twins in a way.
I don't know
They're not
Father
the
John
same.
Misty.
They're different, but they're
Father
kind of
John
different.
Misty is way more indie.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know that band.
Well, it's a guy. Check him out.
He's
I don't
great.
know that person.
I can't remember what band's he from again. I can't remember his
That
band.
is his band.
No.
It's from a different.
He's
it's
from a different
He's
band.
like the David Grohl.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway,
Word up.
maybe we'll listen to him soon. Father
Yeah.
John Misty.
Any final
Maybe.
thoughts? Anything else, guys? What do you think?
I don't have anything else to say. I think we've covered everything.
We're good.
Went through the whole thing.
Cool.
All right.
Got it
Thanks
all.
for listening, guys.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you
us
very
here at
much.
Third Floor Music Tour on this fine evening.
You hear that guitar? That's Christopher White. Sounds good.
Thank you.
See you next time.
See you next
Peace.
time.